Hello everybody, this is the Archfiend, and this is a chicken.
Hello everyone, welcome to Sunday Sports Talk with the Archfiend. Sorry I didn't do a show last week. I had a little gap in the show here because I had a little minor thing going on. Anyways, I was on my honeymoon. But anyways, that aside, UFC 148 was last night. Pretty solid show, and I've been following UFC since UFC 1. Back before there was weight classes. Back when Tank Abbott was beating up guys that just, walked out of a bar and wanted to fight on pay-per-view. And Oleg Tatarov and Chemo and a bunch of other guys. Paul Varlins, I could go on and on. Anyway, UFC 148 was last night. I want to cover two fights. One, I want to cover Tito Ortiz, what I feel getting ripped off against Forrest Griffin, not Griffith, Griffin. Forrest Griffin getting a decision win by the judges in a fight that I honestly thought Tito Ortiz won. It was Tito Ortiz's final match. Fighters say this all the time and end up fighting again, but Tito Ortiz seems to sound like he's basically content with his career. The post-fight interview, he basically, spelled out how he basically had nothing, no opportunities in life. He's, a former gang member. All he had was his fighting and street smarts, and then he took it to an organized company like UFC and turned himself into a millionaire. And he was very grateful to Dana White and the Fertitta brothers for giving him the opportunity. And it was real classy how he went out. He didn't make himself that bitter. He mentioned that he felt he won that fight, and that even Forrest Griffin pretty much thought he won that fight because the way Forrest Griffin walked out before the winner was even announced and just sobbed his way back to the dressing room, and Dana White had to grab and tell him to get his ass back in the ring. But anyways, Forrest apologized for that, as he should have, and he was named the winner. And again, it's a nice end for Tito Ortiz. Like he said in his post-fight interview, he didn't have anything, and now he has everything. Now his kids will have the future that he didn't have. He didn't have the ability to go to college. His kids will now have the ability to go to college, or the resources and the funding to go to any college they want to. So he ended it pretty classy, and I have no complaints about Tito Ortiz. And a lot of people don't know the majority of Tito Ortiz's career because UFC really blew up in the past couple of years, mainly when Brock Lesnar came over and when the company really started gelling with great matches over the past 4 or 5 years. And it's not hating on anyone that's come on to UFC, late in the game here or in mid-game per se. Everyone's welcome to enjoy this sport, whether you're following from day 1 or day 150. So, Tito Ortiz, I think a lot of his career was overinflated, but that's just my opinion. His claim to fame is beating Ken Shamrock 3 times, well past Ken Shamrock's prime, but that's all technicality. So Tito, you went out on a pretty good note. Yeah, you got the loss. It was a good fight, and that's what most people are going to remember you for. A lot of good fights. Main event, Chael Sonnen. These are the 2 matches I'm going to cover here because I don't want to make this video 10 hours long. Chael Sonnen versus Anderson Silva. A rematch from their first fight, which Chael Sonnen basically dominated 95% of the fight. Anderson ended up winning by getting a triangle choke in the final minutes of the 5th round, and it was just an amazing turn of events. No one saw it coming. I thought Anderson was finally going to lose his title. How long has he had that belt? It's like 3-4 years now. He's had won every single title defense. The guy's got mad skills, but then again, that's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for you. That's why it's been dominant pretty much since day 1 of UFC. So, Anderson Silva managed to win this fight last night, and I told people, I even mentioned this on my Twitter, I thought that first fight was a fluke. I thought Chael Sonnen was in no way that well prepared or knowledge to take Anderson Silva to a 5-round fight the way he did, and just basically just throw him all around, knock him all around. And I was like, what the hell is going on? Something's got to be wrong with Anderson Silva, that he is not just coming to his senses and just ending this fight. And the fact that it took till the end of the 5th round to do so, I was like, this is a fluke. If these guys ever fight again, Anderson Silva will just embarrass this guy. But you know what? I was wrong, because Chael Sonnen embarrassed himself for whatever reason last night, and we had a real good fight in the making, because the first round was pretty good, and I think Chael Sonnen actually won that first round, in all honesty. The second round, Anderson started getting in his groove. He started dropping his guard, doing his little prance around, putting in little strategic poke strikes, you know, being the Anderson Silva that we know that's dominant. Chael Sonnen, for whatever reason, this goddamn knucklehead decides to bring out a new move. He decides to say, hey, I want to introduce the spinning back knuckle into my arsenal today. Alright, so anyways, Chael Sonnen decides to just throw the spinning back knuckle when Anderson Silva's against the fence. Anderson Silva ducks down like it's nothing, just like, what the hell was that? Just like a jumbo jet just flew over his head, like, why did that happen? Chael Sonnen spins completely out of control, crashes into the fence, falls flat on his ass. Anderson Silva just goes on and pounces him from there. He gets up 5 seconds later, Anderson Silva takes him back down, and the fight's over. Chael Sonnen, you dumb son of a bitch. You took us out of what could have potentially been another great 5-round bout by trying to be this cocky little asshole. I mean, what do you think you are? Do you think you're Bones Jones? You think you're like one of the lightweights? I mean, my God, like you see Uriah Faber trying to do a move like that because they execute it properly, they train to do it, they use it all the time in their fights. When have you ever seen Chael Sonnen try to do a spinning back fist like that? I know I never have. He may have. But in a fight like that with so much on the line and pretty much your defining moment of your career is on the line here, and you just embarrass yourself by spinning into the fence and falling on your ass? You think you're ever going to get a main event spot again in your life, Chael Sonnen? What a goddamn scrub performance from someone that had so much talent. Have fun fighting in the mid-card for the rest of your career. Unbelievable. I mean, this was more embarrassing than when Anderson Silva gave the straight kick of doom, the Steven Seagal straight kick of doom to Vitor Belfort. I mean, I thought that was bad. I was like, oh shit, Vitor just got annihilated in the first round. How embarrassing. Nope. Chael Sonnen topped that tonight. Bloody hell. Anyway, pretty solid show, and UFC's been lacking on a lot of solid shows for one of the main reasons that their main event stars keep getting injured or keep getting unable to perform or whatever. And we finally had a card where the main event was set in stone and finally carried out. I know, it was a rare thing. I think it's happened maybe 2 times the past year. So, anyway, pretty good show, and I'm not going to review everything. I want to keep this video under an hour, so pretty good card. So if you watch it on pay-per-view or if you watch it on free-per-view, aka the internet, you got a pretty decent showing last night. So, oh boy, the NBA, the Miami Heat, I'm not done talking about them. Boston Celtics let one of the greatest, arguably the greatest three-point shooters in the history of the game go in Ray Allen. And he went to the Miami Heat for less money. To help keep Miami under the salary cap, Ray Allen signed with the Heat for less money than what he was making in Boston. We already have the clearly most dominant, best team in the NBA get the best shooter of all time added to their arsenal. Boy, it's going to be a real fun, competitive year in the NBA. There isn't a single team in the entire Eastern Conference that can even kind of compete with the Heat now. I mean, even if Howard goes to the Nets and they get a big super team built in Brooklyn, no one can even contend with the shooting percentage that Miami's going to throw up from the three-point perimeter. Their defense is off the charts. Their penetration up the middle, especially with LeBron James, is off the charts. Their defense is just unreal. This team is stacked. It's stacked more than ever. And what people don't realize, and what people that are praising the Heat need to realize, is that this is something that is going to create disinterest in the NBA. Because this team is just going to be so damn dominant. And once they start getting 2, 3, 4 rings, now granted it might be a stretch to say Ray Allen's going to be there when they get a 4th ring because he's getting a little long in the tooth. But if this team goes on a tear where you see them winning 2, 3, 4 rings potentially in a row now, which is very possible, you're going to see people going, it's just not fun watching this. It's just a dominant team dominating. We saw it last year, and we have to see it again and again and again. Now, I know people might be like, well, no one said that about Jordan when he won 5+ rings with the Bulls. Well, here's the thing. People tuned in just to see the Michael Jordan show, because no disrespect to Cartwright or Scottie Pippen or anyone else in the Jordan era Bulls, but Jordan was that team. Scottie Pippen was a nice little role player, but Scottie Pippen is no Dwayne Wade. The total package that Dwayne Wade is, maybe not in just size and defensive ability to block shots or anything like that, but Dwayne Wade is twice the player Scottie Pippen ever was. Ever was. And now you got someone like Chris Bosh on this team who is the Chris Bosh of the Bulls. There's no one that's Chris Bosh's caliber. All right, Bill Cartwright, yeah, okay. Anyway. And now you add Ray Allen, one of the greatest perimeter and three-point shooters in the history of the game. Who do you have? Oh, Purdue? No. Purdue couldn't lace Ray Allen's shoes. So anyway, my point is people tuned in to see the dominance of Michael Jordan, the Michael Jordan show. Yes, you do get that with the Miami Heat because it is pretty much a LeBron James show, but man, you have role players the likes of which could win a championship without LeBron James even on this team, arguably. You couldn't say that with the Bulls. Bulls without Jordan, the Jordan era, were a nothing team. Look what happened when Jordan went to play baseball for a year. The Bulls sucked. They got eliminated in the first round of the playoffs. Actually, I think it was the second round, but still, you get my point. They didn't do anything without Jordan there. They were lost. So, people need to realize with this Miami Heat team getting Ray Allen, it has the potential of killing interest in the NBA. And you know what? Good. Let it happen. Speaking of killing interest, some would say a good record in Major League Baseball brings the fans to the seats, gets people to come and watch a team play. For some reason, that trend doesn't follow with certain teams. Now, we all know a team like the Tampa Bay Rays, or the Tampa Rays, whatever the hell they call themselves. They don't draw well. If I lived in Tampa, I wouldn't go see a baseball game either, so I can understand that. So they have a good record. But there is one specific town, and a town that I thought had a pretty good sports franchise mentality to support their teams. But that is the town of Cleveland, Ohio. Now, I recently complimented them for being, a pretty good, sports frenzied town and supporting their teams in a video from a couple of weeks ago. But I went to ESPN.com the other day when I was at work, and I looked at the 2012 Major League Baseball attendance, and surprisingly, the Philadelphia Phillies were the #1 drawing team. They're averaging about 44,000 paying attendees for every single home game, and they're #1. Now, the reason why I bring that up first is the Philadelphia Phillies have been dead last for 95% of the season. They're 13 games behind first place right now. They had 2 sellouts the past week. Philadelphia Phillies are drawing as the #1 team in Major League Baseball. Detroit Tigers are dead last, averaging 19,000 fans coming to their games every home game. That is pathetic. You know why? Because the Cleveland Indians have been in first place for a good chunk of the season. What is with you people in Cleveland? Do you realize that that division is entirely up for grabs now that Detroit is playing kind of iffy baseball? Detroit on paper should be running away with that division, but they're not. That's why teams like the Chicago White Sox and the Cleveland Indians have pretty much been 1 or 2 in that division the whole season. Detroit Tigers are still sitting in 3rd place. The division is completely up for grabs. How can you not be excited about the Cleveland Indians? They have the very, very viable chance of winning the division this year. And the fans in Cleveland don't give a shit? Now, I know, yeah, okay, they'll probably have a second quarter collapse, and who knows, they'll probably finish in last place. But maybe the team will be motivated even more because they obviously have shown that they got enough talent to win games, and they've been beating pretty much everyone so far this season. Why aren't people going to see them? What is your problem, Cleveland? I know you haven't won a championship in a while, but Jesus Christ, Philadelphia has won one championship in, was it 23, 24? Actually, no, it's more than that. It's like 26 years now. One championship. You think we're just thrilled to rush out and see our games? We know there's a slim chance our teams are going to win a championship, but goddamn, we love our teams in this town. Our team's in last place, 13 games behind the Washington Nationals, and they're still having sellouts. Cleveland, you can't even get 20,000 fans to show up on average? The hell is your problem? What more do you want, Cleveland? Anyway, Cleveland, you get the asshole award of the week. Oh boy, alright, that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about. Let's see, what other minor news and notes? Nothing really major happened in the NBA, or the NFL. Michael Vick got married, Ocho Cinco got married. Whoop-de-doo. The Philadelphia Eagles, the owner Jeffrey Lurie, I know, I'm talking about more Philadelphia stuff. The owner of the Philadelphia Eagles got a divorce, and now people are saying, oh boy, it's going to cause a rift and everything because that's Andy Reid's boy, and now they don't know if they have to split the assets or Jeffrey Lurie wants to leave the team, so there's a lot of big questions there, and that should be interesting. Oh, and the chain emails that came out per this investigation of the Penn State scandal. Are there any Joe Paterno supporters left? I just got to know that. Those chain emails clearly said from Joe Paterno himself, clearly said with the president, the finance committee guy, and a bunch of other people at Penn State, the higher-ups, clear as crystal said, Joe Paterno himself, yes, we should cover up this sex abuse scandal. We should not report it to the authorities. Joe Paterno, dead or not, you're a despicable human being. And you know what? Penn State University, for everyone that covered up, not just Joe Paterno, everyone at the top, even McQueary for being a scumbag that didn't intervene and didn't knock that guy on his ass. The entire college deserves to shut down. I wouldn't even care if Penn State University got the shit suit out of it, which they will start getting sued by everyone, and just shut the hell down. It disgusts me. It disgusts me to see a Penn State logo, to see a shirt, to see someone with like a key lanyard hanging out their pocket that says Penn State. It disgusts me. Because I had nothing but praise, and it's just such a great symbol of this area, symbol of greatness. Now, it's just a joke. Just a big fat joke. So screw you, Penn State. I hope the entire thing shuts down. And to all you Joe Paterno supporters, what do you have to say now? What do you have to say now? Well, what I have to say is I think that's everything for this week. So thanks again for tuning in. Got some more videos coming for you guys that aren't sports videos this week. So everyone just, keep your panties unwadded. We'll get to things. I've been making a lot more videos here for you guys. So hopefully you guys are happy. I still don't have a job and my girlfriend still pays my bills. Do you believe people are still leaving comments like that on that video I made yesterday? Anyways, have a great day, everyone.